Did you know that by doing just one simple thing each day, you can boost your sense of self-worth and self-love? Seeing as how February is the month most associated with love, I thought it'd be a good time to share some ways in which we can show ourselves some love, kindness, and compassion that will help us build a more positive self-image. Growing up with a bilateral cleft lip and palate, I struggled with learning how to find value from within, instead of seeking it from anybody and anything outside myself. I know for many of us with any kind of visible difference, we can struggle with building up a strong sense of value and self-esteem when we are so often taught that if we can't find it from outside ourselves, we're just not worthy of it at all. So today, I want to share some tips with you that you can do right now to help you build up your self-worth and show yourself some love. So let's dive in. Tip number 1. Find activities you enjoy and go do them. Not sure what you like to do? Think back to when you were a kid. What did you do for fun? Did you play with Lego? Did you like drawing, coloring, listening to music? There is nothing wrong with indulging your inner child when it comes to bringing more joy and fun into your life. Tip number 2. Give yourself a compliment. This can be a tough one for those of us that have visible differences. But did you know that not all compliments have to be about your outward appearance? There are plenty of things that you can compliment yourself on, from your ability to keep a tidy home to appreciating just how far you've come in life. So take a moment and think about the things you can compliment yourself on. No matter how small a thing, there's always something worth celebrating. Tip number 3. Value the effort you put in on a daily basis. Nobody said life was going to be easy, and sometimes just making it to the end of the week is a victory. From work obligations and family life, there are all kinds of stressors in our lives. So take a moment to appreciate yourself and the effort that you put in every day to build a life for yourself. Tip number 4. Stop giving your inner critic the spotlight. Now I know this is a tough one. That critical inner voice can be relentless at times, am I right? And it's easier said than done to keep that voice quiet. So why don't you give this technique a try? Name it. Naming your critical inner voice something silly, or maybe even the name of a former boss that you really didn't like, it can be a fun way to exert more control over that critical inner voice. Once you put a name to it, whenever that critical inner voice starts talking negatively to you, you've got a name that you can use to tell it to be quiet. It's actually quite fun to do, so give it a try. Tip number 5. Surround yourself with positive people. I heard someone say once that we become the average of the people we surround ourselves with, meaning we start to behave like those we spend the most time with. Do you hang out with people who are overly critical and like to gossip about other people? When you leave them, do you find that you're also more critical of yourself and others? Start paying attention to who you spend your time with. And if they aren't very positive or supportive, it might be time to find a new crew. Tip number 6. Allow yourself to feel your feelings. We aren't always going to feel good, and that's okay. These days, there's a lot of talk about toxic positivity, essentially keeping up appearances and saying that everything is fine, when in reality, it isn't. Allowing yourself to feel your feelings is an important part of showing yourself kindness and compassion. So when you're feeling down or sad, don't shove those feelings aside. Feel them. But as my mother always said, once that day is done, pick yourself up and start taking steps to address, correct, and adjust in order to make positive moves forward. So there you have it. 6 different strategies that you can start doing right now to show yourself a little bit more kindness, a little bit more compassion, and love. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.